what's going on? It's Colin here again, back with another engine show video. It's actually the first engine show I'm going to here in 2023. And I came down to the Zagray Farm Museum Spring Show here in Colchester, Connecticut. Went ahead and brought the Dodge and the 1927 Economy hit and miss, which some of you guys may have seen the video on. We'll get to that in a second, but just figured I'd do a video because I actually got quite a few engines going this time. Just figured I'd show you guys some of the engines and some of the antique machinery and whatnot that they got going here. A lot of the big field over there is all flea market, so I'm not going to waste your time looking through that. But like I said, I figured I'd go around and show some of the tractors and the engines and some of the antique machinery they got here. So what do you say we take a little look around? Well, I figure I'll start here. This is the 1927 3.5 horse Economy that I did a video of a little while back that we got running. This is actually its first show since at least 1985, if not earlier. But as you can see, I've done a lot of work to it. I've gotten it running much better. I'm going to do a second part on this video, on this engine at some point that will go into more detail. But we did a lot of work to it, as you can probably tell. But this thing runs so nice now. It's a very happy engine. Also slowed it down a bit so it runs nice and slow like this. Definitely grabs quite a bit of attention. Especially in the back of the old Dodge. We can head on over here. Got a big McCormick Deering or International Model M. I'm going to guess it's a 6-horse, not entirely sure. Running a rock crusher. Got a job for you. Zigzag back and forth here. Over here we got, looks like a oil field Fairbanks going. Got running on propane. Over here is a twin cylinder Leroy. I actually have one just like this now that you guys will see at some point. Got to do a video on it once I get it all finished up. And that's running a giant log splitter. Over here we got a big, another Fairbanks it looks like. Looks like an 8-horse. Chugging along. And then down the line here, we got a, I believe this is a Lawson hit and miss on a cement mixer. Yep, little Lawson engine. That was running earlier, I'm sure it'll be running again. Got a nice 3-horse Fairbanks throttle govern Z. It's actually running really nice. It's hitting every single time for once. A lot of Fairbanks is kind of either, they like the 8 cycle and they won't hit every single time. Got a bigger Fairbanks, I think that's a 6. Looks like an earlier Economy. Also a 3-horse. Over here we have a 4.5 horse 1913 United. Looks like an Economy throttle govern. I'm gonna guess a 5 horse. Little 2-horse stover running a drill press. This here is a really big brown wall. Not entirely which horsepower, not entirely sure what horsepower it is, but it's much bigger than any other one I've ever seen. Quite an interesting engine actually. With this mixer setup and then the igniter on it's pretty weird looking too. You don't see too many of them. And same with this is a 10-horse Fairbanks, but it's hopper cooled. That was running earlier. I think it may have run out of gas though. See if they start back up later or not. But usually you don't see the giant ones with hoppers on them. It's kind of interesting. This here is a big Whitney Model B. See, 6-horse. It's twice as big as mine. Kind of cool to see. Now, this is a 4.5-horse stover. And over here we have what looks like a big oil filled engine. Got Patent Bros. We'll go inside the barn here and see what we got. It's a 4-cylinder, 70 horsepower Atlas Imperial diesel. I believe it's just a 4-cylinder version of the one we have at the Long Island Anti-Power Association. And if I remember correctly, the story was it ran a button factory. And it was super worn out when they got it, so they had it rebuilt, so they rebuilt it themselves. And it looks like they're slowly starting to set up a line shaft again like it would have run in the factory. That's pretty neat. Over here we got a couple more engines that are just sitting here. And over here is the 4-cylinder Fairbanks Morse 32 E14. Pretty massive thing. There's a sign with some info on it there. You can pause the video here if you want to read it. But you guys haven't seen it yet, but we actually have the 1, 2, and 3-cylinder versions of this engine. So imagine this would just lop off a cylinder for each version. And we just recently brought them back over to the club, so we should be able to actually show you guys those in the near future. Hopefully we can get them all set up and running without too much delay. I got a video of this one starting up before. It's pretty neat. I'll put it in here. Just to give you an idea of how massive this thing really is. That's the piston. This is my hand for comparison. Piston's like 3 feet long. It's ridiculous. Over here we got another engine. I'm actually not sure what this one is. Let's see. Oh, it's a Bessemer. It's a 4-stroke Bessemer. That's pretty neat. Don't see them too often, I don't think. Over here's another oil-filled engine that they had running earlier. It's taking a rest. It looks like they got a whole bunch of other toys back here too. sure they'll get them running in due time. I think they've been focused on getting this new building up, which they're doing a grand opening of soon. Because they got a whole bunch of engines in the other barn, which I'll show you guys in a bit, that are probably going in here. Another big oil field engine running here. Something kind of crazy. Look at how much that crankshaft's moving back and forth. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but the whole crank's going back and forth like this. The bearing's probably a little worn. I'd imagine this thing's got quite a few hours on it. It'll probably keep going for like another 100 years that way and wouldn't care. And even the valve there is going sideways a bit. It's absolutely crazy how much these things will take and just keep going. A couple guys displaying some engines. 1927 horse economy model, or Hercules Model E. Definitely a big one. So, over here, 1916 Kansas City faultless 2-horse. Looks like a whole bunch of new parts on that one. Here's something pretty interesting. 1910 Rockford. I don't think I've ever actually seen a Rockford engine before. It's a side shaft too. Pretty neat. Looks like most of these engines down here are taking a rest. I'll see if I can get some video of them running later if they start them back up again, but just in case they don't. Got a Novo mud pump here, which is kind of neat to see. You don't usually see the engines on the pump still.
The other one is called John R-O-B-E-N-I-C-K.
A couple more economies. Various sizes. Little Briggs 5S and a Myers pump. Looks like a Fairbanks, one of the battery box ones originally. Looks like a Stover CT2 back there. Driving a pretty neat looking piston pump there. Another International M on a mini line shaft setup. Looks like another Economy or Hercules or Jaeger or something back there. Another Model M, International, Stover CT2. Down here, this is pretty neat. Got a big Fairbanks Morse throttler. Probably a 6-horse. Looks like a really small cart for that sized engine. A big economy. Well, it's pretty neat to see an old Ford pickup truck towing it. Old 4-wheel drive Ford pickup, I should add. Looks like a pretty neat rig. But yeah, like I said, it looks like a lot of these are taking a rest. If they end up firing back up, I'll end up coming back here and getting some footage, but just in case they don't, I figured I'd show them off at least. I think I'm going to migrate over to the other barn over there. I'll show you guys some of the heavy equipment that they have and some of the other engines there. I almost forgot. Then my buddy, he goes by on YouTube, CT Yankee Jr. He brought some of his engines and tractors over here. Some of you guys might recognize some of these from the Long Island Power Association video I did last summer because he brought a bunch of his Lawson collection down. But got a couple of these cute little ones on the battery charger units. This looks like a World War II or maybe Vietnam War era one that's actually still in the original crate. A couple bigger Lawsons running here. A couple of his Marine Lawsons too, which are pretty neat to see. Yeah, I think he has almost every Lawson engine they made, or at least I think that's his goal, and then he's got both the Marine and regular version of each, which is pretty damn neat to see, especially when you line them up side by side. Also got some of his tractors here. Here's some info on this. Another couple Silver Kings. And a whole bunch of Fordsons as well.
Make a video.
Of different varieties. We'll do a walk down in the main barn here too. Some more neat Lawson stuff that belongs to Peter. Up on the shelf there.
Makes you wonder what they were driving or what happened when I pulled the fire. That would be quite annoying.
A couple larger tractors here too. They also got stuff over here as well, which you mentioned. Pretty big hit and miss engine. On a buzzsaw, actually, that's pretty cool. Galloway. That head's been repaired before, holy crap. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, they got a whole bunch of neat stuff here. I believe they rent out a lot of this space to various club members. So I don't know if all this stuff is the clubs or not. Tractors on this side too. However, I do know that they bought out a huge collection of engines, which is what that new barn I mentioned earlier is for, which is going to be all these big ones. They got some pretty neat stuff here. Massive international. $15 horse. It's like an economy, and a hot air engine back there. It's a big reed. Oil well supply. Some of these I don't even know what they are, honestly. It's a pretty neat big 4-cylinder there. A couple more hot air engines over here actually. Some more oil well stuff. So it's going to be pretty damn cool once I get all this stuff into that new barn and get everything up and running. Which I'm sure will be a little while, but they got some really, really neat toys here, so they've got a lot of room to grow and expand. It'll be pretty damn cool. It's like a 1.5 horse economy. I'm guessing that's a 5. Taking a break. Got a little Bridge & Stratton 5S on a Myers pump. And the Buzz Coil Fairbanks over there. It's like a Stover CT2. And a pretty interesting piston pump there. An International Model M. With a little line shaft display. It's also pretty neat. Looks like another economy or Hercules or Jaeger. Another international. Another Stover CT2. Here's something you don't see every day. It's a SRAM air compressor. Domestic engine on it. This half here is the domestic engine. And then on the other side here we got the SRAM air compressor. And it looks like the tank's on the back here. Pretty neat to see. You know what year it is?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think it's around 15.
That would check out.
Not mine, phone's a friend.
Gotcha. Pretty neat piece. We fired up this, what I think is a 5-horse economy here. Figured I'd get a little footage of it too. Over here is a Novo mud pump too, which is pretty neat to see. Usually you just see the engines, you don't see the pumps that go with them. Being towed by an International Scout too, which is also kind of neat looking. Not too many of them around either. Yeah. It's about 4 p.m. now, so the show's just about wrapping up here. according to Peter, they hit record attendance today, which is pretty damn cool. And it's definitely a really good show and flea market. So I'd really advise you guys, if you're in the area, to give this place or check it out. But anyways, just figured I'd shoot a quick conclusion for this video. So thank you all for watching. If you like what you see, hit the little like and subscribe buttons. I'd appreciate that. By all means, leave a comment if you have one. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned for more engine content coming soon.